Welcome everyone to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host, Antigua. With me, like always, is Noah Bailey. So, we have a ton of stuff to cover today, but first, we have both finally seen the Chainsaw Man movie.
Oh yeah.
It's been out for a couple of months now at this point. You saw pretty close to its opening. I saw a little bit later. We've both seen it. And what are your initial thoughts?
Oh, I thought it was great. I love this anime because I really like the world building setup. I like the magic system a lot. The whole the greater that, society fears something, the stronger it is. So the gun devil's like super powerful. It also stands to reason the bomb devil's very powerful because bombs are scary and people don't
Mhm.
like those. So I thought that was really cool. I loved her design, especially in her I guess devil form. And there's it's like the giant missiles her head, but she's also got other bomb parts to it. It's like this whole. It
Mhm.
was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I thought animation was amazing. I thought it was a nice story. It was a good. It was a very emotional story. It spent and they do a really good job introducing this character that you kind of know off rip it's not gonna end well.
They weren't really
You
subtle
know,
about it.
No, they weren't. And the whole oh, spider catching the fly thing or whatever. I'm like, oh, they're just, foreshadowing as you couldn't tell. So it's it's gonna end poorly, but they do such a good job taking its time, building their relationship, and oh man, I really do like this. And that seemed really playing. And then once the action starts, it just rolls the whole rest of the movie. You're
Mhm.
just one scene after another. When they were at the the training facility or whatever, and she shows up, the
It,
way they all just got cooked was crazy.
there was a moment where I'm like, am I supposed to know any of these people? I know I watched the original anime like a year or two ago. So am I supposed to feel bad that these people are dying? Is that like, do you know if we were supposed to know them?
Oh no, they
Okay.
know the one of the main characters apparently. They're buddies back in the day, but we don't know any of those. Those
Okay.
characters are basically there to
Yeah.
get slaughtered,
Because
basically.
because the guy that comes in towards the very end, uh, the kind of like older guy with the beard and like brownish hair with glasses, he like when he first showed up, he looks up. He to me looked a lot like uh their mentor character from the first season, who was training
hmm
Power and Denji. Uh,
hmm
I'm probably gonna get a bunch of names wrong. I'm sorry if
You're
I
good so
correct me if
far.
you do. So like when he died, like oh no, was that a major character? And then the guy I was thinking about showed up at the very end. Like oh no, he's fine.
Yeah, it wasn't actually him, but no, yeah, no. I mean, it was one of those things where they all kind of had Aki's the Wolf Devil's ability, so
Yeah.
that was kind of oh, I guess that's where he got that from. They're connected through that
Mm.
ability and stuff like that. So, but to see how easily she was able to just demolish them kind of shows yeah, we're probably not ready for this.
Yeah. um, One of my favorite scenes from the whole movie, actually, probably my favorite scene, was actually at the beginning during. Uh, I am blanking on names. The main character and redheaded girl, Ma, Ma,
Makima,
yeah, her. They're like
yeah,
little date where they like went to like 10 different
yeah,
movies.
10 movies, yeah.
I I don't know if they were specifically referencing or parodying any specific movies, but they like it like the way they were commenting and just, like the stuff that was happening felt so like relatable. Like you like I have there's so many times where like a movie just makes people just explode with laughter and I'm just like that I don't get it. Like that wasn't funny at all. Like people like this action scene. That seems a little shallow and boring. I don't. And then yeah, sometimes just the dumbest things can make you just like feel just feel things. Like I
Yeah.
yeah. Um, one like I don't even know if criticism is the right word, but one kind of like thing about this movie that I'm still like kind of teetering one or the other on is I thought the action scenes were amazing. The
Yes.
animation was absolutely stellar. I feel like they used every character's powers very well. It I feel like um, this movie had a pretty substantial budget, at least relative to the actual show, and they were determined to use every single cent of that budget in the most spectacular way possible, to the point where after like 20 minutes of the action, knowing that there was like going to be at least 25 more minutes of the action, I was like, I'm I wasn't not going to say that I was already feeling a little bored, but I felt like how like I felt a little maybe even like overwhelmed, and like there were especially a lot of moments of her just like hitting Denji like through buildings, just like a bunch of like colors and a bunch of just explosions. And I felt there was maybe just a little too much of that, to the point where by the end I felt like they kind of couldn't escalate after a certain point, so I was kind of felt a little duller by the end of it. Does that make any sense?
Like it felt like they kind of went to they kind of used their maximum level right off the rip, so it didn't feel like it had a lasting effect.
Kinda, yeah. But also, like, not only do I feel like they just had a little too much going on, I also kind of feel like the Bomb Devils powers were a little inconsistent, because that Shark Devil that Denji had a replacement for power. I felt like he probably should have died like 12 different times during that
Yeah,
fight.
probably.
Like there's one point where the Bomb Devil is just laying into him, just exploding him left and right. And when he crashed, Denji just kind of pops out of him and he just gets back up. I'm like, he's fine after that. Like I felt like that was like his moment
Well,
of sacrifice, but it kind of made the Bomb Devil feel a little underpowered in that moment, because what all that she didn't kill this guy.
just yeah. I mean, yes and no. It's one of those things because like you got to remember a lot of the devils are like very like durable and like pretty much as long as there's blood, they're like fine more or less.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, no, I agree. It's like, bro, how'd you get up? You just got nuked to the face. Like, how did you? But I don't know. It's yeah, I kind of hear what you're saying. But at the same time, I think it also just adds to the spectacle of just like, oh man, like they're just going, like you know what I mean? They
Oh yeah.
spared no expense, just going from off rip, just going full force, and I think it really looked really like the colors with the explosions and also the reflections of like the explosions up in the background was also really cool. So we really
Yeah.
noticed really well.
Yes, absolutely. And I think, like, generally speaking, anime movies can kind of go three different ways. One, it's a plot that clearly doesn't matter, that is just filler, that like seems to just kind of happen just for the sake of saying they made a movie. Two,
Hmm.
it's very clearly like 3 or 4 episodes stitched together, and that's your movie, a la Mugen Train, which that
Yes.
movie is great, but that's still that's what that was. Or
Yeah.
this, where I feel like the way it was structured, um, I felt like it was very much so, you know, one maybe 2 episodes of the show, just a lot longer. And that's fine, but like thinking back, not a whole lot actually happens. And like Chainsaw Man was always a much more deliberate, slower paced show. So I'm not saying that like, a whole lot of plot elements should have happened, but like if you just kind of think back, the first like 5 or 10 minutes is the date with Makima, and then he meets Reze, and then they go to the school on their little, I guess, date, and then very shortly after that, it's just action for the next half of the movie. so they, but I don't think that like all of the action scenes would have been like, you know, well, I just feel like I can't quite put into words exactly the feeling I have towards the action. Like they're good, they looked amazing. It just felt a little bloated, might be the word I'm looking for. Whereas I feel like if it were actually in the show and they had the ability to constrain them to the 22-ish minute time frame of the of an anime episode, maybe they would have felt a little more focused and actually more like every each individual action scene maybe would have felt a little more earned and just felt a little more impactful. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But it was very good action. like I said, it was very beautiful.
Extremely good.
Yeah. I even kind of liked the subtle change in the art style. The first season of Chainsaw Man, it's not like it's like kind of CG, but also it's apparently like mostly hand drawn with CG kind of enhancements, and it looks very good. But then this definitely looks more like a hand drawn anime, which I personally prefer. Um, so I wouldn't be opposed to uh, Chainsaw Man season 2 and onward looking more like this. So
yeah, I think so too. I mean, and part of me is like, did they do that because like movie budget or like
probably the way they did it before probably
yeah.
costed a little, was a little easier to produce overall. Um, but yeah, since they had the movie budget, they could actually pay to
All
pay
the
to
stops.
pay the artists. Yeah.
No, but I mean it's a really good movie. It's does a great job of really like it feel like it kind of does the teetering line where it's like, is this movie gonna be canon? Is it gonna be like it definitely feels like it can be easily, but nothing really changes other
Yeah.
than Denji kind of has a moment. Like no significant like main stir characters have been really truly affected that much. Because it's like, oh, Power's got this weird upgrade. And then it goes back and she looks exactly the same as when it started.
Yeah.
And, this shark guy is here. And, like, oh, we talked someone with the Angel Devil. There's some development there, and that's good. But also,
What's his
we not.
face has 4 less months now. Like, okay, that's
Yeah.
nothing.
Which, like, I mean, I guess that does matter. I mean, that does matter, but it's like, I don't know. It's like, this, like, the main stuff in the movie, I feel like, was kind of just for funsies, which again is kind of how anime movies work most of the time. But no, it
Yeah.
was really good. I mean, I'm really excited about it. I hope they do more of them because I
Mhm.
also like I thought it was paced well too. Like it wasn't a long movie, but it kind of like okay, introduce character, set up situation,
Mm.
Obvious but still twist coming,
Yeah.
and then from there we just try to survive said twist.
Hmm. Yeah. So part of the problem, like, let's assume this was not canon. I'm pretty sure it is since it's literally,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
from the mangas. Uh, there's a lot of like the Dragon Ball and Naruto and all those other like anime movies. They're not even close to manga canon.
No.
Um, let's assume this isn't canon. I still feel like it was a very good character study of Denji, just like showing at this point in his life, just showing his vulnerabilities, showing like like, does he actually want more in life? Is he satisfied with where he is? Like, like how is he dealing with just everything that has been thrust onto him? Um, and I think just you know uh, having this time to delve more into this character does uplift the show overall, as opposed to something like the absolutely terrible Naruto movies, which a lot of them are very bad. They don't really do anything. They're just, oh, here's a villain. You know, it might be some vague connection to one of the other characters, but it doesn't matter. And then they win in the end. Like, it doesn't move the plot or characters forward. You don't really learn anything about anybody. Whereas here, I really do feel like it was kind of necessary to like get this all out now, so then next season we can like just uh like spring forward and just hit the ground running going there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, no, I think we'll definitely the next season will kind of just pick up where this left off, kind of like how Moving Train did. But yeah, I'm excited to see where they go with this because again, like I think the biggest thing, I think, yeah, Aki's like, his lifespan's even shorter now, and he's gonna be even more desperate to find the Gun Devil and everything. So who knows how that's gonna go? So yeah, just a lot to explore, and also Denji kind of going through some trauma. I mean. Not that he didn't. I mean, he obviously had a rough life before the whole show started, but like ever since he got his powers, he's kind of just been chilling. He doesn't really care about anything except like girls. So like
right.
it's like, oh man, he went through something. Like, how's that gonna change him? What's gonna.
Yeah. And like I really liked the through line of like, does Denji have a heart, and like what should fill that heart if he does have one.
Mm,
Like, I felt like that was just a fun kind of through line message. Um, when we were like, by the end, like, is his heart broken by what happened? Like, does he actually, like, because in the end, like, he still offered to run away with her if she let him, and then like we'll see how that affects him going forward.
mm.
Yeah, I'm still. I know manga readers know this, but I'm still just mesmerized and confused by Makima's stuff. Like, she came out of a swarm of rats.
Yep.
Like, does she have rat powers? Does she? We saw her like blow people's brains up earlier, but like, what's that got to do with rats? Is that just a thing she can do on top of? Like, I don't know.
I mean, I honestly just don't. We kind of just don't know.
Yeah.
To be honest, because I mean, I don't know, she's got powers of some kinds, but I mean, I don't know, she's just OP right now. That's all we understand about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was crazy. She just pulled up and immediately was like, "Yeah, nope, sorry."
Right. Okay. Moving on to our next topic here. It is heavily rumored. There hasn't been any kind of confirm or any kind of like announcement by Warner Brothers about this, but it is currently heavily rumored that Dune Part 3 is going to be moved up from its December release date up to October or November of next year.
Oh,
Because as of right now, it is slated to release on the same day as Avengers Doomsday.
which is not going to go well.
Which I've always said, it's, if you want to do an Oppenheimer thing, it's Avengers Doomsday. Or,
Okay, that's actually kind of good. But see,
yeah.
but that's Avengers
No.
is too big, bro.
Yeah. And part of the problem with trying something like that is it kind of doesn't quite understand why Barbenheimer worked, because Barbie and Oppenheimer on paper have completely different audiences.
Yeah.
The the Venn diagram is two separate circles.
Yes.
So it's ironic that these two big movies are releasing on the same day, and it's ironic that people are going to be watching both because that's funny. However, when when Dune and Avengers are both squarely nerd properties, we're ironically enough because there is that overlap. You can't really have the same kind of movement in the same way. There will be people that would see both. I would definitely see both, but it just wouldn't for whatever reason because the Venn diagram is more similar. You can't have the same kind of grassroots movement like that. There's feel like there's some kind of inherent competition between them, whereas there's no real like inherent competition between Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Right.
So even though I think of Dune Part 3 has a good chance of being a better movie, just because of the fact that Dune Part 2 is a really, really, really good movie. And as of right now, we don't even really know what Doomsday is. we assume it's going to be at least decent since it's the Russo brothers and they've made four other pretty good Marvel movies. But I feel like the very best a Marvel movie can be, which is Guardians 3, is not personally not as good as Dune Part 2. So I don't think there's any way that even though Dune Part 3 probably going to be a better movie, it still would help it to come out before Avengers.
Yes. Because, I mean, competing with an Avengers movie is just not a good idea. Just for any movie ever, period. Just because they just make oodles of money. So,
Yeah.
no. But also, even though Dune Part 3 has done really good, and I'm really excited for that too, yeah, like, just make it your own thing. Be your own, like, don't force it. Be your own thing. Just have your own. That's my thing with movies. I always say, like, don't compete. Just pick a spot that no one else is doing and do that. And if your movie's good, it'll do great.
Yeah.
And sometimes, even if it's not good, it'll do great.
Um. And Dune Part 2 was originally going to come out on the same day as the Marvels, actually, like in 2023. Then because of the writer strike and a couple other things, it got pushed to March. I think that was also smart. Not because I think the Marvels would have taken us under. That
No.
would not have mattered. It was more so because just the actor strike meant that the immense cast that movie had couldn't advertise it. And not only did that hurt the Marvels and maybe cut the revenue in half, like it still would have been like 400 million ish, but Dune Part 2 wouldn't have even come close to sniffing 700 like it did if it came out with all of those incredibly famous people talking about it.
Right. And the thing too is also like the first one again wasn't bad, but I think the first one was very much like people were like, okay, what else you got? Like, it didn't leave people like, what? We have to see that, like all that. Whereas I feel like this second one definitely did a better job of being like, okay, I need to see the next one.
Also, I feel like it was smart to not give that movie any excuses. So, like the first one, it released during COVID. It also had that simultaneous release on HBO Max. So like it still made over $400 million, which is amazing given the circumstances. Yeah. But this one, the beginning of the spring summer the spring movie release window, it was in the theater by itself more or less for the first couple of weeks, and they're just, if it had released during a time of those various strikes against something that is theoretically major competition, then it definitely would not have done as well as it did. So, going out of the same logic, releasing early November when, to my knowledge, I don't think there's going to be any like major movies, at least at this point, coming out in early November of next year. In October, we are going to get the Clayface movie, which who knows what that's going to be. Uh, like, who knows? But I think as long as it can release at a time that's not right next to Avengers, I think it'll have a much better chance of doing what Warner Brothers wants it to do. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I'm going to see Avengers Doomsday and Doom Part 3, but if I had to see one on December 20th, whenever next year is going to coming out, I would see Avengers first, and then eventually, a week or two later, see Dune. So
yeah, definitely.
yeah. All right. So I hope that's true, but if not, then best of luck, Dune.
For their sake, it better be.
Yeah. All right. Let's move over to some Disney stuff. Now, here's a movie that did not need any luck to do well at the box office. It just came out of the gate swinging. Zootopia 2, which released this past week, has already. Let me let me stop right there.
Oh God!
How much money do you think Zootopia 2 has already made? It came out on
Friday?
last Wednesday, because movies
Last
that release before Thanksgiving
Wednesday.
release like.
Okay, I know it's done extremely well, but it's
So this is the 5-day tracking period, which is technically a little unfair because most movies only have 3 to 4, depending on how you count.
mhm,
But this had a 5-day tracking period. How much money do you think it made during that 5-day weekend?
like 300 million.
Try 550.
Bro, what? In 5 days?
Yep. It was the first movie ever in China to make $100 million opening day.
Opening day.
Correct.
Good Lord, man. This
Yeah.
movie's going to make so much money.
The highest up until that point was Avengers Endgame with 96 million, I think.
It
And
beat
then
Avengers Endgame?
correct.
Bro, what? That is unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, because, oh my God.
Like, I don't think this movie will overall beat Avengers Endgame, but
Probably not, but
like,
still, this trajectory is insane.
but it's a sequel to a movie that also broke a billion somehow, which I like that movie a lot. I just at the time didn't feel like it was that big, but it still did break a billion.
It
And
was,
is very good. It's a movie that people have been kind of wanting a sequel to for almost 10
yes.
years now.
Yeah, because it was like 2016, right?
Mhm. Yeah. It was 10, it was 9.5 years. It released in March, I think, of 2016. So 9.5 years. And it's thing where like if it's even like, half as good as the first one, then people are gonna go see it. And clearly people did. So
I believe it.
yeah. This one at least makes more sense than Moana 2. That movie, none of those trailers looked appealing at all. At least
No,
the
it didn't.
trailers for this looked better. So I haven't seen it yet, but I assume that Zootopia 2 is at least has a reason to exist as opposed to Moana 2, which I still don't even. I haven't heard anything about it since it came out. Even though that also broke a billion,
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that. I'm not gonna lie.
right? um, so yeah, I'm sure I'll see Zootopia 2 eventually, but good on Disney for making a movie that people like and is able to make $500 million in 5 days. Good job.
Yeah, he crushed it.
Yeah. Something they didn't crush necessarily. Speaking of Moana, um, that live action Moana remake got its first little teaser a few weeks back.
Oh boy.
And I've said this before. When a movie is a shot for shot remake of an animated movie, there is no possible way it's going to be better than the original.
No.
And this trailer very much proved that because every single scene looked extremely like the coloring looked weird. There was like some uncanny valley like things where it's like, is that CG? Was that just like from like is like the lighting looked just off at times during this trailer. You only saw Maui at the very, very end, despite Dwayne Johnson like basically being the one who spearheaded this entire project. Um, the girl playing Moana looked fine, like the song she was singing sounded fine, but just at the very end when she's singing the reprise of uh or I think the song is called "I'm Moana." Like she sings after her grandma talks to her, and like that's the song she like "I'm Moana, I'm gonna go," and toward the climax. In the original movie, that song is sang at night, but because it's animated deliberately, you can actually see everything that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But because this movie is a movie made in 2025, and every movie for some reason in 2025 doesn't know how to make scenes look good at night, it's shot during like sunrise or like during a day like where there's sun out. So it just I feel kind of takes away the impact of that scene because like part of it was like the darkness of the night kind of fed into her feeling feeling down and gloomy, and just the stark contrast of that scene directly looking the way it did, like in stark contrast to the original, just it doesn't give me great vibes about it. So it'll probably break $1 billion though, because the Lilo and Stitch.
That's
So
what I'm
why
saying.
can't
I'm like, it's still gonna be
Moana?
amazing.
Why not?
Yeah, it's still gonna go crazy. But even though it makes
Yeah. Well, again, I'm very surprised that uh, Maui wasn't really in the. I know it was a teaser trailer. It was a teaser trailer for a movie that we already know the whole plot of, and it's clearly a shot for
yes.
shot remake. So I don't know why you need a teaser to not show theoretically the main driving point. But I don't know. We'll see more of that next year, I'm sure. Um,
Yeah.
last little Disney
It's
thing. You did see the first season of Percy Jackson, right?
yeah.
Okay.
We talked about it, I'm
Um,
pretty sure.
yeah. Okay. Cool. I'm making sure. Season two is coming out with I believe, a 2 episode premiere on December 10th. So next Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm heard about that. I'm excited. The first
Mhm.
season I think did a good job. So yeah, I think adding in, going from there, I'm excited to see how it goes.
Yes. My one major criticism with that show, and I know it has a show's budget, and again, I know that CG for some reason in more modern years seems to be a little like subpar at times. Uh,
So,
it just there were a couple of like monsters and a couple of things here and there that looked a little off. I'm hoping as seasons progress, I'm hoping that the the just general budget for creature designs and the like choreography and there's a couple other things here and there just get even better. Not that it was bad before, it just I could see how it could be improved. So hopefully
mm,
that's the one thing I want. Like I as an avid reader of the book series, like I pretty much already know what's going to happen unless they drastically change stuff. I just want to see it faithfully produced on screen, which the movies did not do. So don't do that to like it is in the book.
Mm. Yeah, I think it's gonna be. I'm excited to check it out, and then we can talk about it again, see where it goes from
Mhm.
here.
Absolutely. Okay, now moving on over to the Game Awards 2025 nominations were announced, and we're finally here to talk about them. So let's
Yeah,
bring them over here. You can see me, right?
yeah, I can't see you. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So, in previous years, we started from the bottom up, ending with the game of the year. However, I feel like every year there is some kind of through line story that I like to uh, kind of tell as we go. And I think the best way to do it this year is actually by starting with the game of the year nominations,
Mm.
like the big one.
Yeah.
So we'll start the game of the year and then work up to it from there. You'll see why in just a little bit.
Okay.
So I've already made my voting for all of these, but if you could easily voice your opinion, which ones you think uh, you would vote on. So Game of the Year 2025. The nominations are Clear Obscure Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silksong, and Kingdom
Mm.
Come Deliverance 2. This is one of those years where every single game on this list 100% deserves it, even
Yeah.
though there's like four other games out there that also definitely deserve it.
Yeah. No, this year is stacked.
Yeah. Like even if you didn't play every single one of these games, you know you know about these games. The one
Hmm.
I'm like a little iffy on is Death Stranding 2. I know that Jeff Keighley is like best friends with Hideo Kojima, and the first game did do very well and got a bunch of awards. So like, I'm sure the second one's at least as good as the first. But when you base it off review scores, when you base it on just what this people talking about these games, there were a couple of other games that I do genuinely feel like probably should have gotten it over Death Stranding 2, but they were the ones I'm thinking of. They got it in other categories as well, so it's not like a huge deal. But like I guess it's like since Death Stranding Part Two or Death Stranding Two, whatever. Since I know for a fact that it's not going to win, I'll eat my words if it does. But since it's definitely
Hmm.
not going to win, I feel like something like a Ghost of Yote or Split Fiction maybe should get here instead of that. But
Hmm.
regardless, all six of these games are pretty much the lineup I was expecting. Um, how much Ghost of Yote have you actually played, if any?
I actually haven't. I hadn't finished Ghost of Tsushima yet, so I wanted to make sure I finished it before I went into the sequel. So
Okay.
I've been doing that for the last couple weeks.
Okay, that's fine. But just as you'll see, there's some fun little statistics about the games that that were nominated this year. So, Clay Obscure Expedition 33. It is the game that has been nominated for the most game awards across the entire history of the Game Awards.
Woo!
Um, we'll see a little bit later that like those numbers are fudged ever so slightly in one specific category, but it is still fascinating that like this indie studio, this is their first game,
Hmm.
and every single person that's played it liked it,
This game
like,
is
and every
insane.
single person that played it said, "Yeah, this is probably gonna be game of the year." Like,
Yeah. No, that game has my vote, honestly, because honestly, the story is insane. It looks amazing. Like the how you play is great. Like this game was like this is one of the best games I've ever seen.
have
Genuinely,
you played it?
Yes,
Oh,
is
okay, cool.
yeah.
It's on my
This
list
is
for sure.
Yeah, no, I highly recommend. This is one of the my nephew told me about this. I hadn't heard about it, and then he literally we went over to my sister's house and we lighted it up. He just showed us the intro within 10 minutes. I was like, I'm buying this game immediately.
Nice.
The story alone is like, I mean, even if this feels like it could be just a movie by itself,
Mm.
but the gameplay is super good. It's you, yeah, it's amazing.
Okay, cool. um, so yeah, clearly it deserves all the nominations that it got. It's possible that it could be like the Metaphor Fantasio or the Final Fantasy 17 Part 2 remake of this year, where it's in a bunch of categories, it wins a bunch of categories, but something else randomly
No,
beats it. But
yeah.
I kind of doubt it. Um, Another fun little statistic is that, as you'll see, Ghosts of Yote is the single most nominated game that didn't end up on in the GOTY. It's in almost
Wow.
every other category, and just randomly isn't here.
Really?
Yeah,
That is kind of surprising it's not in there. Also, no disrespect, but Donkey Kong Bonanza, really?
it's really good. Um,
Really?
yes, I really enjoyed
Okay.
it. It's definitely
Okay.
like the most like just pure fun game on this list. Also, like it, I do think it deserves to be in the conversation. However, I think if it were released in a year that the Switch 2 didn't also release, I think maybe people wouldn't have been like propping it up so high.
Mhm.
But because this new console released, like there is that hype behind it also. Like they were like, let's throw Nintendo a bone, just give them one, their best game that came out this year, we'll put it there. And, again, I think it definitely deserves it. It has an over 90% on Metacritic. Um, so clearly the critics like it, but again, like Ghost of Yote, Split Fiction, a couple other games could very easily take a couple of these spots. Um, However, that being said, Donkey Kong is actually, I believe, the the Game of the Year nominee with the least other nominations of all time. Um, we'll get to what they are later, but it only has two outside of this, so that's interesting. Um, yeah, my vote obviously went to Hades 2. Is the game this year that I put the most time into. Uh, is the game I will continue to put time into until I get tired of it, which will be years from now. It is sequel to one of my favorite games of all time, a game that, again, every single person that's played Hades just absolutely adores it. Same thing with Hollow Knight, and then Silksong is a sequel to that, a very long-awaited sequel. It took 9 years for the game to finally come out, so glad it finally did. And then Kingdom Come Deliverance, that was I believe it's not technically indie, but it's like it's a smaller studio that has a Deep Silver, which is like a kind of larger publisher, but it was originally crowdfunded. So it was just kind of like a feel good thing. Like, a lot of fans of the first one crowdfunded the second one. It turned out to be really good. So,
Okay.
yeah. Um, yeah, I would not. The only one I would be even like kind of upset at winning would be Death Stranding, just because I feel like of these, it was the one that had the least conversation around it. Is the one that almost every person was kind of doubting would be even on here. Almost every single predictions list I saw had Expedition 33, Hades, Silksong, and Kingdom Come. Some had Donkey Kong, some had Ghost of Yote, some had Split Fiction, some had Dispatch, uh, and a couple of others. But Death Stranding, I'm sure was also a solid game.
Mm.
Okay, now Going from the bottom up, most anticipated, we have 007 First Light, the winner,
I mean,
Wolverine,
yeah,
the
yeah,
evil.
yeah. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. That Wolverine game sounds and looks and sounds amazing with how intense and violent it is. But I mean, come on,
But
man. Like the
like,
memes alone.
like I guarantee Wolverine will be an amazing game. Resident Evil 9
Yes.
Requiem, also going to be great. Witcher 4, the trailer looked solid. Witcher isn't my thing, but like I'm sure at least going to be a solid game. But Grand Theft Auto 6 has won this category for the past 4 years in a row. I think. Like, I'm pretty sure, I don't know exactly how they do it, but I'm pretty sure ever since 2023, it's been on this list because I know Tears of the Kingdom, I'm pretty sure Tears of the Kingdom won most anticipated in 2022, and then it came out the next year.
Mm.
And I think at the time, people were delusional enough to think that GTA 6 was releasing in 2024. So from 23, 4, I guess just 2 years in a row. Still, it's won the past couple years and is going to win again this year. And then when it
100%.
inevitably gets delayed again, it'll win next year
Yeah.
as well.
Yep. Because it's already November, and you know they're at
Sure.
least gonna delay it one more time.
No. Like it will
But
be the
no.
biggest game of the year it comes out. Um,
Yeah.
I already have said how kind of funny it is that it's currently slated for like just after the cutoff for Game of the Year. There might be a thing where like, oh, because reviewers got review copies the week before, it's actually invaluable. I don't know. Um,
Mm.
but
He'll
yeah,
figure something out, but yeah,
yeah,
either way, GTA 6, there's memes about it, everyone jokes about it. Oh, we got this before GTA 6, LOL, but like
hmm
this game is the most anticipated game probably of this entire generation, let alone the year. So,
yeah, absolutely. Okay, next best adaptation. This one's a joke. Um, every single thing on here is either kind of bad or very controversial. First of all, Spider, oh, sorry, the Sonic 3 movie that came out last December, that's technically a viable option here, um, but it's just not here for some reason. So that's a
mm,
little weird. A Minecraft movie
no,
was terrible.
no.
um, the Devil May Cry anime is kind of by the same people that made the Castlevania anime, which is actually pretty good.
Yeah,
Except,
I think Devil May Cry is pretty good.
oh, you saw it?
Yeah, no, I saw it. Yeah, I thought it was
Oh,
pretty
okay.
good.
I just everything I've seen about it just looks a little off, and I don't know, just doesn't really. It doesn't like feel like it captures the essence of Dante as much as the games do. But
Yeah.
I'm I'm sure if you're just looking for just a fun action, uh, and I don't even know if anime is technically the right word, but like cartoon thing to watch. That's I'm sure it's good for that. Um, I didn't even know the Splinter Cell show came out. Like I heard rumors about it, and then I guess it came out. So cool, put it there. Uh, The Last of Us season 2 is just the kind of the story of The Last of Us Part 2, which is already controversial. But also, I feel like because they, for some reason, they went ahead and after this first season, just jumped straight to doing season 2, which then was Last of Us Part 2. When there is, I believe, a 8 year time gap. There's like a 5 to 8 year time gap between part one and part two, the games. So, and there's actually a lot of stuff that are like flashbacks and stuff that is referenced that happened between the first and second
Hmm.
game that they could have actually
Like,
explored in these seasons.
yeah,
Um, Not to mention just like the stuff that happens with Joel's character in the second one only really works because you, the player, actually played as this character for the 20 plus hours that game took to beat. Whereas, an 8 episode, hour ish per episode season,
it's not the same.
where the best episode of season one is actually a like, not filler, but like a kind of prequel, like right before everything started. Like, if all these two people who, they're like experiencing the beginning of the zombie outbreak, like kind of as it's happening, and then like it's a whole episode about these two people just living in the before and also after the apocalypse started. It doesn't even have Joel in it at all. So that's 7 episodes max of you, of the show trying to get you to care about this Joel. So I feel the only way anybody can like actually care about what happens in season two is if you already played the games, which were already basically movies anyway. So I don't know
Yeah,
why why they went ahead and did part two stuff in season two, but whatever. Especially since there's not currently a Last of Us 3, and like the show's gonna be popular, so why would you? Whatever. I voted for it since I feel like it's technically the best one here. If the Fallout season two show had come out within it's actually coming out I think next week as well. Um, if it had come out within the window, I would have voted for that, but unfortunately I can't. Um, yeah, also the Until Dawn movie. That I feel takes the purpose of Until Dawn was basically to let someone play through a horror slasher movie and like make all the dumb decisions that that you see happen in horror movies. So just
mm,
making it a standard horror movie, I feel kind of ruins the point. But whatever. Best multiplayer. This one annoys me because a lot of these are very, very different kinds of multiplayer games. Like,
mm,
the little description here says that it's specifically online multiplayer, including co-op and massive multiplayer experiences, irrespective of game genre. I feel like multiplayer and co-op should be different things.
that's kind of what I was thinking too.
Because Split Fiction is only co-op, whereas Battlefield 6, that is an online shooter. Like, that is the multiplayer aspect of both those games are wildly different.
Extremely different.
So I voted for Split Fiction just because I genuinely feel like it's the best game on this list, but I wouldn't call it the best multiplayer game. I feel like multiplayer implies to me more than two people. Because if you're just looking at it from like a menu perspective, if you're going into a game and a game has a multiplayer mode, I feel that implies at least four people, either couch co-op or online. If it says co-op, you automatically know what that means. If the multiplayer mode were just a co-op option, I think that would be a little misleading.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think so too. Because yeah, I feel like co-op for me implies two specifically, whereas
mm,
multiplayer seemingly well, I don't know because I'm like if multiplayer had like co-op and additional, that's one
mm,
thing, but I guess it just depends.
yeah, yeah. Like I think if there ever was a year for Battlefield to win a category like this would have been the year because apparently people really like Battlefield 6. But apparently Arc Raiders is something that people like as well. Um,
Hmm.
but since like I said, I feel like Split Fiction is one of those games that probably should have actually deserved the GOTY category. I voted for it here. Okay. All right. Best sports racing. Which I always
Yeah,
find it very funny that sports and racing are in the same category because there aren't enough sports or racing
good
games to make their
sport
own thing.
games.
Yeah, which we'll get to an even funnier category in just a second. But um, how can it not be Mario Kart?
It is. It
Right?
is.
Um, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds is better than people expected it to be, but and
It's
Mario
just trying
Kart
to be
World
Mario
has
Kart.
like a lot of weird controversy around it with it being $80, with people not liking the intermission tracks as much. First of all, I got it for 50 with the console bundle, so I didn't pay 80. Also, um, as you can attest, the intermission tracks are fun sometimes. So get up for
Yeah,
it.
I think it's a lot of fun. I think it does a great job. I think, first of all, the fact that they have changed so much from the last game. Granted,
Mm,
it's been a while, but I mean, first of all, 24 racers is crazy,
yes.
just in general. I think that and Knockout Tour alone is
Mm,
enough to make this game one of the better Mario Karts that's ever existed in general.
absolutely. Yeah, just all the different movement options, just like the new tracks. Yeah, I understand the frustration of not like traditionally being able to play the three race courses as often, and like since these are so good, these tracks are so good, you want to play them, but like I don't know, I've enjoyed nearly every single second of my playtime with Mario Kart World, so I
Yeah. I
love it.
mean, people are just mad it's not perfect because
Yeah.
that's the expectation.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm
And I get
sure
it.
just
At
like it's good.
$80, you would expect a game to be, yeah, more or less perfect. But a vast majority of the people that bought the game bought it with the bundle. So most people didn't pay 80 for it.
Yeah.
Uh,
And also it's Mario Kart. It's very good. They have a
mm,
buttload of new characters and like it's I think it still does really good. And I think it's
mm,
doing really well. And they're like, oh, they don't have every single track, but I'm sure they're gonna do the same thing the last one did and have a DLC in a few, later, and then it's like, yep, pretty much every track that's ever existed is now available.
I'm hoping that this is not going to happen just because no modern game company will do this, but especially not Nintendo. I'm hoping that like the first round of characters and or tracks is free, but that's not going to happen. No, just
And I don't know
like
about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
like there's people who genuinely think that there's not going to be new stuff, but like just because Donkey Kong got DLC doesn't mean this game isn't going to get DLC. Just because Pokemon got DLC doesn't mean this isn't going to get DLC. Like they put so much time and care into this game that it took nearly no, actually 11 years for them to make a new one. So they're going to take their time to make sure that any DLC that does come out is also, to their standards that they that so probably sometime early next year we'll get an announcement for DLC. But
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, I personally think it deserves the spot. We can skip this category. These are all good games. It just I don't really know anything about most of them, so I went for Final Fantasy Tactics. That's the one I know.
That's what my brother voted for.
Right. Best family game is the Nintendo category.
Yeah.
This is the only other category Donkey Kong is in, and this category is so confusing to me because the blurb here is for the best game appropriate for family play, irrespective of genre or platform. What does that
Family
mean?
play?
Family
Does that
play.
imply like multiplayer? Does that
No,
imply
because
like
last year
family?
Astrobot won. There's no co-op at all in there, as far as I know. Like, there's no way to play multiplayer at all, and it won over Mario Party. That is the
Is like
quintessential
the
family party.
multiplayer game.
Um, like of this list, I would say Mario Kart World is the best game to play with your family. But because Donkey Kong Bonanza is in the nominations for Game of the Year, it's going to win this category. But regardless, a Nintendo game should win this. Just because
Yeah, 'cause
it
I
was
mean
literally
Nintendo,
made for them.
right?
Okay. This one is very funny. Best fighting game.
Okay.
So this year was a little light on fighting games. You have
Yeah.
the Riot games, like, League of Legends fighting game. So that's cool. You have Capcom Fighting Collection 2, a collection of old fighting games, is here for best fighting game. You have a new Fatal Fury game that I didn't even know existed. You have Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, another collection of old fighting games. Like, really? Why even have this category this year if
I mean, you gotta have it. There's not gonna have it.
I guess like it's essentially probably what happened was they knew they wanted to spotlight Virtua Fighter because I think that's the one that's going to win because it's the first time there's a new Virtua Fighter in like 20 plus years. Um,
Mm-hmm.
even though I think the games that are in the Capcom Fighting Collection are better games, just because you know Marvel v Capcom 2 is such an amazing game. Um, but because they wanted to spotlight Virtua Fighter somewhere, they basically were forced to keep this category. So it's going to be one of those that every year there's like, between the big game announcements, which is what the Game Awards is for, apparently, like a couple of instances of Jeff or one of the other hosts just like doing like a quick rundown of other winners. This is going to be one of those. And best fighting game,
Mm.
Virtua Fighter. And best family game, this. But like that kind of thing.
Yeah, the smaller categories that we're just kind of checking off because we need variety.
Yeah. Next, best RPG. Um, this this category always is very funny to me because
RPG is like very ambiguous these days.
yeah, like Avowed is basically Elder Scrolls just with a different coat of paint. Clair Obscur is a more traditional
Hmm.
JRPG. Like, it's not Japanese, but it's like that's the style.
Yeah.
Um, Kingdom Come it has like I think it's a first or third person like combat, but it's one of the pretty much the only game on here where you can actually play a role from the start. Like, you pick your class, you pick what you do. Like, you can essentially live in this world and do whatever. And I feel that is the what the true essence of role playing games should be. But it's going to go to Claire Obscur since I feel like that's going to win the whole thing. But it is going to be one of those things where, like, if this category comes up and Kingdom Come wins, they're like, oh, so Kingdom Come won this category, even though Clair Obscur is also in Game of the Year. That's interesting. So I have a feeling Clair Obscur will win, but who knows? It could be Kingdom Come. Um,
Could be.
my roommate is big into Monster Hunter. He disagrees with it being role playing at this point. Like, I guess you could choose different weapons and those kind of act as classes, but it's not.
Yeah, but that's not what role playing means. Like, or at
No,
least it's not supposed to be. It's like when
no,
like Assassin's Creed's like RPG element. It's like that. No.
no, no. Like, it kind of gets to a point where if a if a game is Japanese and has even like very light RPG elements, they'll just call it an RPG. It's like that seems a little weird, but whatever. Um, And then Outer Worlds 2 is basically Fallout in space. Again, a very different RPG from the rest of these. So I went with Kingdom Come just to kind of stoke the flames of discourse here. It's just not that I'm voting against Claire's Expedition 33. I'm more voting for the upset, if that makes sense. I think Claire's
Yeah.
Obscure. I'm gonna play that eventually. I'm gonna like it, but my roommate liked Kingdom Come, and neither of us had played Claire Obscure. I'm like, it'd be funny if Kingdom Come won this category. So we'll see what happens. Best action adventure, the category where you play a game where in that game you go and do stuff.
Every game ever.
Right? Like, there's going to be games in the action category that's going to come up in just a second that I feel should be here. Like, Split Fiction, as far as I know, is fairly linear. So I don't know how it's action adventure. And not to knock either Indiana Jones or Split Fiction, but how is Donkey Kong one of the Game of the Year nominees when I feel like that is action adventure,
Right?
but it's not here?
It's not here.
Yeah, Ghost of Yote, which isn't there at all, is here. Seems a little weird. Um, yeah, I think it basically has to go to either Death Stranding or Hollow Knight since they won. Since they're going to Game of the Year, which makes me feel even more bad for Ghost of Yote because we know for a fact every single category that it is in is also going to be populated with like actual Game of the Year contenders. So there's literally no way for it to win anything. So, oh well. Silk Song, I think, is going to win this.
Silk Song's amazing.
Here we go. Best action game. And once again, a lot of these games are very different kinds of action. Like Battlefield 6 is a first person shooter. Doom the Dark Ages is also a first person shooter, but it's what's called a boomer shooter. It's like controlled very differently than Battlefield. Hades 2 is an isometric roguelike. Ninja Gaiden 4 is a hack and slash game, and then Shinobi is a 2D side scrolling like uh, action platformer game. So again, I feel like a lot of these kind of fall under different categories, but my vote will always be the Hades. It'll at least win something since none of these other games are in the Game of the Year.
Yeah.
We can skip that one. We can skip mobile. I feel bad for. I feel bad whenever a game is an indie game, but is also in the Game of the Year category. Same thing happened with Balatro last year, where like Balatro is a really, really, really good game, like deceptively good. If someone just explained rogue-like gambling to you, you're like, what does that even mean? I still don't even know. I played over 100 hours in it. um, but that was technically a debut indie game, and it beat a bunch of other debut indie games. Like because Balatro was a GOTY contender, it just won every other category it was in, pretty much. So I feel bad for Dispatch. Every single person that's played it like really, really likes it.
Yeah.
It just feels like the niche that like the Telltale games just kind of haven't been able to fill recently. Um, and like I think more games like that should be made, but it's going to go to Claire Obscure. Like I've heard good things about Blueprints. I don't know anything about that one.
I've never no.
No, but so yeah, it's going to be Claire Obscure. But I don't want the Dispatch people to be uh, dejected just because they lost to probably the GOTY.
Yeah.
Then best independent game. We have three of the
Yeah.
Game of the Year contenders.
Sorry, other two games. Or the other
Very good
three
thing about
games.
Blueprint. A very good thing about both of these also, and just it's got to be one of these three.
It's
And once
just yeah,
again,
this is like the year of indie games. 'Cause there's a
kind of,
lot of good ones.
yeah, yeah, like very similar to RPG. Like it'd be very funny if they bring up best indie game and Hades or Silksong win because instead of Clear Obscure, like, oh, we got a ball game here. Okay. um, but yeah, I am absolutely gonna play Clear Obscure at some point. I just need to
Yeah, no, dude,
play other stuff first.
it's amazing.
Very good. We can kind of skip that one. It's good that those games are. Oh. This reminds me. Marvel Rivals released last December, yet it wasn't in Best Multiplayer, and that's weird to me.
So it's eligible for best multiplayer and it wasn't up there?
Yes, games
That makes no
released
sense.
after the cutoff from last November 15th or whatever it was are eligible for the next year.
And it
Marvel
wasn't even
Rivals,
that definitely should be in there.
yes. Like not to knock any of the games that were there, but
But
I don't, I feel like it at least deserved to be nominated for best multiplayer. Like it lived up, it like exceeded every single person's expectations of it. And I feel like it at least deserves, in my opinion, it deserves to win this category. So
yeah.
it's just weird that it's going to be in best ongoing in the same year that it should be nominated. I don't really talk about that category. I don't really know what these games really do for accessibility. It's good that they do it, whatever they do, but outside of Doom, I haven't really played them. So moving on. This is the category that kind of makes the Claire Obscure's record a little weird because
Mm.
Ben Starr, Charlie Cox, and Jennifer English all are from Claire Obscure.
Yeah.
Um, which it's fun that Charlie Cox plays the main character. That's fun. Um, the most I can think before, I'm pretty sure in 2022, maybe three from Last of Us Part Two, uh, got best performance, and then Lord Bailey of that game got it. Um,
Mm.
I voted for Troy Baker because he's been in the game for you know almost 20 years now at this point, just somehow has never won this category. Uh, and the voice match he did for Harrison Ford's Indiana Jones was really really good. So I want him to win, but it's probably going to be Charlie Cox, and even Charlie Cox
Probably.
admits that he doesn't deserve to win.
Well, one thing is, I mean, Charlie Cox is more of an actor than a voice actor anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it's already kind of like, oh, come on, man. Like,
Yeah, like it's cool that they got him, but also in a way almost kind of seems to like not take away from their indie status, but it's weird that like I don't know exactly all that went into making Expedition 33, but I'm just curious how they got him. Not that he's like the biggest actor in the world, but it's still interesting
it's a
that this
big
indie
actor.
game because Ben Starr and Jennifer English, they're both pretty prolific, just regular video game voice actors, and then Charlie Cox apparently came in and did like 4 hours of voice lines and then left. And then he's like, "Yeah, if I win, I feel like my he said that his the person that did all the mocap, like that guy should actually get the award." Like,
Yeah.
and he hasn't even played the game. Yeah, I hope Troy Baker wins, but statistically, it's going to be one of these three. Which, um, yeah, Best audio design. I in this category, I always vote for the horror game just because I feel um, audio design is kind of like what makes horror games great is if if like the creaks and footsteps and just ambient sounds,
Mm.
if you nail that, you nail the horror atmosphere. And for what I can tell, Silent Hill F did that. That's what I voted for, but again, probably gonna be one of the ones that actually got Game of the Year.
No, it's fair.
Yeah, I will say though the like, and this is also the case for Ghost of Tsushima, but like the sound
Mm.
that the katanas make in those Ghost games, really good sound
Very
on the
satisfying. Yeah.
katanas.
Yeah, and I know Ghost of Yota also had that whole like lo-fi samurai mode also, which I think
Mm,
is just like just because that's an option is just like higher consideration.
absolutely. Best score in music. I
Kind of same thing.
Yeah, I really like the songs that are in Hades too, but apparently the music
Hmm.
from Expedition 33 is really good.
It is.
Yeah, it's probably gonna go to
Like
that, but
it is.
I'm gonna vote for what I played. But I've heard some songs from this, and it's yeah, it's good.
It does. Yeah, it's one of those like does a good job of using music to boost the emotions you're feeling because there's a lot of scene there's like even in the right in the beginning there's a lot of like oh sad sadness and suspense and a lot that you're just like okay and the music just really boosts that and the battle
Mm,
theme in general is just really good like it's got a really
nice,
good soundtrack.
nice. Once again, Yasugote is here, but not gonna win anything. Sorry. Art direction. I never really know how they score these because like Hollow Knight and Hades have a very unique art style.
Right.
But then, like, not that these are realistic, but
I think Ghost of Yota is kind of realistic, I guess.
and also it has that like black and white, like sepia samurai, like old
Yeah.
samurai film though. Like that's
Yes.
cool.
Yes.
And, like a lot of the like enemy designs in Death Stranding look interesting. So it's not like like it was in 2015 where like every single game was like super realistic. It was I think that year for best art direction, it was like Batman Arkham Knight, Fallout 4, The Witcher, like something else. And I'm like, I feel like not to take away from the animators who made those games, but I feel like art direction to me should spotlight more unique art styles, but
Yeah.
maybe I just don't understand the category as much as the people are actually animating, but then are actually voting. Um, or probably is going to be a thing where the people voting are just going to vote for the thing they played, and a lot of them played Expedition. So
Yeah.
yeah, best narrative. From what I can tell, Expedition 33 has the best story.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's an easy win.
Yeah, best game direction. Now this one, I've always
So ambiguous.
like I kind of equate it to the best director at the Oscars. But here is Best Game Direction award for outstanding creative vision and innovative in-game direction and design. Like, what does that mean? Like,
Right? Like it makes it feel like it's about like the direction they decide to go with the game, but I'm like, is that talking about the story, the mechanics, the art? Like, I mean, that could be about anything. So it's like, I guess it's all of it, but it's like, because like in one hand, you're like, oh, split fiction. The idea of the whole like co-op, like dynamic
mhm.
thing is very innovative and very cool in
Yeah,
how they do that. But also, you could be like, oh, the way that Clear Obscure does like a brand new narrative and kind of goes back to the JRPG style is also really cool. But you could
mhm.
also go with the way Hades is set up, where it's kind of the fight your way out roguelike setup. Like, I don't. I guess it's just what game is best at doing what it does, essentially. But
But
again,
then
that
that's
feels
just game of the
so.
year.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, that's so obscure and like kind of redundant. I don't know. Some of these categories feel redundant.
Yeah. You actually did sell me on Split Fiction. Like the fact that it is so new. Like I love Hades too, but it's more and better
Redundant.
of
Or
the same. And the same is good, but it's not new. So I think
right.
Split Fiction is new. Like
Okay, I'll take that.
a solely co-op game where you jump between the like futuristic and past levels. Like
Right.
that's really cool. Um, yeah, it's probably gonna be the player tier.
Yeah, probably.
And then we're back here. So yeah, isn't it weird that the Ghost of Yotei isn't here since it was in every other
That's kind
category?
of my thing. Like, it feels like Ghost of YouTube was in a lot more categories than like some of these other games,
Yeah,
and it's
like
like
Donkey Kong wasn't even an action adventure. It was
that's
only in
what I'm
family
saying.
game.
Donkey Kong was in
And
like
why are
what
you
one other
here?
category, like family game, and that
It was
was
only
it.
family game.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what's up with that?
I
Like,
don't know.
that feels like there's something like again, not that I don't think Ghost of Yotei would win, but it's like the fact that you're in all these categories but not even nominated for the big one is kind of insulting.
Yeah. But then at the same time, I feel like Donkey Kong probably should have gotten a score. I really think it has like a lot of good, a lot of like really impactful music. Um, Best action adventure, definitely. Like at least two or three other categories it could have gone in.
Yeah.
So
I
like,
mean,
is it just the best family game ever made, and that makes it
that's what I'm
eligible
saying.
for?
It's so good at being a family game, which is probably not going to even win that category either. So it's like, yeah, I feel like for the Game Awards, they should vote on nominations first and then vote on winners. Because it feels like a lot of time, a lot of the games that kind of make the best sense for the best categories aren't even available to vote for. And then it's
Hmm.
like, well, that was dumb. Like, I don't know. Like, and also I think they just need to change a lot of the categories because, like I said, the
Yeah.
categories feel redundant, or some of them just feel like, what's the difference between, this feels like a pointless category.
Hmm. Yeah.
So,
Like you have a three, two, maybe even 3 hour window where you can do the awards. I know you spend a lot of that time with ads and game announcements and stuff, but like you can have more categories. I don't think anyone would
yeah,
be opposed to just splitting some of these into more focused categories. Um, like with game direction, I think you could even split that into two different categories. Focus on ideas that are implemented the best, and also focus on the people that actually made the game.
yeah.
I know they're going to be the people that actually accept the award, but I still feel like best game direction. You should, for Death Stranding, you should be like Hideo Kojima did a great job at that. Uh, I can't think of this. I can't think of the split fiction guy right now, but like, you know, he did a great job at that. Like, that I feel like that you should spotlight the people behind the games as much as you do the games themselves. But I guess just not how they do it. Oh well.
Yeah, like because you could even do, yeah, and I think also too you could do like not so much like the honor, but like you could go into more details, like like a new category, you'd be like, best combat system or something,
Mm,
instead of just, you know what I mean?
yes,
Like, how is
absolutely.
that not a category? Because like,
Mm,
you know what I mean? Then I'm like, okay, now Ghost of Yotai might win. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
because the combat's very complex, and there's more like that's kind of my thing. Like, there feels like there's so many like areas that you're just not talking about. Because even like best shooter, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
not I don't really like shooting, but like there's so many.
Mm,
I mean, that's got to be a category. There's got to be a category for like
yeah.
I don't. You can even be like best like I don't know like best game character or like support or like at best NPC or something.
Ooh,
That
I
could be
like
a
that one.
character,
Best NPC. That's
right?
great. Yeah.
Right? how is that not
Like
like I don't know, man. It
best
feels like there's a
best
lot of
mission, like
categories.
best like individual like story thing, like
Right.
best
Yeah, or
map,
like yeah, best
best.
mission slash level slash
Mhm.
map. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like there's a lot of stuff that I feel like it just doesn't get
Mhm.
utilized for whatever reason because the categories are so they're all on top of each other.
Yeah. Because like best platformer, surely there's more than five
Yeah.
platformers any given
But
year.
like,
Like
yes, exactly. But like, why is there best action and best action adventure? That
and
makes no
then
sense.
like I feel like Doom the Dark Ages, since that one specifically is a more more like not at least it's at least as non-linear as what I believe Indiana Jones is.
Yeah,
How are
but
they not in
like,
the same category? They're both first
well, that's
person
what I'm
games
saying.
made by Bethesda Studio that you can kind of go wherever within a level. Like how are they not the same thing?
Well, that's what I'm saying. And also, how are you gonna be like, like Ghost of Yoto is not at best action? You spend 30 hours cutting Mongols to pieces, and it's not best action. And I know
Like I
it's
would
action
say it's
adventure.
because this is more like action game that is in an open world, but Split Fiction is not that. So I don't.
That's what I'm saying. Like Liz, we just need more categories because these are basically talking about the same kind of games.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how there's best action adventure, and like they're totally different games.
Hmm. And also they're a little inconsistent with when they allow uh remakes and remasters and collections and that kind of thing
Yeah,
because best RPG, where was that? Um, oh yeah,
it's like
because no, not RPG. Where was it? Oh, Sim Strategy. Final Fantasy Tactics. That's a remake, right? I'm pretty sure
yeah,
that's a remake of the original Final
there's
Fantasy
a
Tactics.
couple of Final Fantasy Tactics, so that might be a new one. I'm not sure, but I don't know. I don't honestly don't know. But no, they do need a category for just like one. They need one for like best DLC because half the time DLCs will come out that are like, oh, this is gonna be game of the year. It's like, bro, a DLC
Yeah,
can't be game of the year.
last year Shadow of the Erd Tree from Elden Ring that was nominated for Game of the Year.
That's what I'm
Like
saying.
it wasn't. I think it had its own like separate release, like standalone release, but it's a
That's not the
DLC for the
point. Yeah.
previous year's Game of the Year winner. Like that feels
That's what I'm
weird.
saying. Like that's just not fair. You can't just be like, "Oh, I'm still the best." Like have a DLC best DLC category every
Hmm.
year. Like that would be fun. And then also have like I don't know, like yeah, just like more categories. Best DLC, you could have best like
You saying best
sequel
co
game.
best sequel. That's good. Best first entry, best sequel. Like I think you could do both.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like a rookie of the year, like best first entry game. Like
Hmm.
like that's I don't know, man. Stuff like that just feels weird because it feels like they're really just not even because like some of these don't need to be like best community support does not need to be a category in
In
my
a
opinion.
way, I understand the idea behind it. Like you want to highlight games that over time have gotten better and have had devs like like No Man's Sky specifically when it came out it was in a super rough state and over the years it
Mm,
has gotten a lot better, but it's gotten to the point where every single year of Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky have been there for the past like 5 years.
that's what I'm saying.
So yeah, at this point, and like ongoing game was also very similar
Like
category.
I like the idea of best ongoing game, but the problem is, yeah, like it just becomes the same 4 or 5 games because it's gonna be Fortnite forever, Marvel Rivals until further notice 'cause that game is amazing,
Mm-hmm.
Helldivers because America. So it's like you know what I mean. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be the same 3 or 4 categories. I mean, it's gonna be the same 2 or 3 winners, and it's kind of like I mean that's great, but maybe we could just make that like a maybe instead of doing like one winner, maybe just have like a best. These are the award for best ongoing, and like
Mm-hmm.
have like just all of them win like a gold star or something.
Yeah.
Because it's eventually just gonna get too big of a category, assuming games are just gonna keep being ongoing and stuff. And I feel like that would be better.
Right. Also, not to mention, um, I feel I don't know if this is true, but since certain categories are sponsored, I wouldn't be surprised if the sponsor had some kind of say in the
Oh,
category. Like
absolutely.
Best Score in Music is sponsored by Spotify. Does the game
Right.
does the soundtrack have to be on Spotify? Because Nintendo games aren't really on Spotify like that. So
Yep. Probably. That's a great point. That's what I'm saying. Like stuff like that. It's like, oh well, if this had, based on whichever has the most streams on Spotify,
yeah, I
probably.
do appreciate how this category does actually highlight the person. Actually highlights
Yes, it
the
gives the
actual
vote to
composer.
the composer.
That's cool. Which I'm sure Spotify fought for that, which is cool. But and then best game direction is the
Yeah.
game itself. I don't know.
Yeah,
Joseph
no, we
Fares.
could.
Joseph Fares. He's the split fiction guy. Um,
Okay,
yeah, I don't know why that just came to me, but that's yeah.
it's all good. But no, also like there's with kind of similar to the best, like the audio design.
Mhm.
I feel like
Um,
there should be it's a right next to the sound.
yeah.
Yeah. I feel like with audio design, they should specifically have a thing that you're being nominated for, not just for the whole game. Like
Ooh.
have like how like everyone talks about like oh in episode 2 there's like the Django Fett bomb sound or whatever that like
Hmm.
that specific like have a specific sound because audio design for the whole game basically is the same category.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want Ghost of Yotai specifically nominated for the sound that happens when you get a perfect parry on a brute or something like that.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, I
Yes.
think specific sounds would be much better because then we're not just throwing in games that sound cool. Like, I
Yes.
want this sound is awesome specifically. And I
Absolutely.
think that'll give, in theory, that would make game sound designers more specific to really want certain sounds to give that extra effort to.
Hmm.
I think that makes more sense.
Yeah. Especially I know that this is one of those like smaller categories they're just gonna kind of breeze through, but it'd be kind of fun if they did something like that and then when they're announcing the categories, like Silent Hill F, and then they show like how the Oscars do it where like when a movie is announced they like show like a little scene from the movie and then
Yeah.
the next one like show like in Silent Hill F show the main character walking down a hallway and like you hear like rain dripping and you like hear footsteps like
Yes.
go through ching ching
Exactly.
ching like just that would be cool.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. Like that would be awesome.
Yeah, like or like during the best score like as they're announcing the game like
Yeah, play
they're
the score that won.
play a little snippet of the song. Yeah. Yeah. I do like how they have like a uh right before the game of the year categories announced they have like a big orchestra do an ensemble of all the game of the year like the
That is
like
pretty
main
awesome.
themes. That's really cool. But then not all these games are in the best scores. It's whatever. Um, yeah, I understand that Jeff Keighley puts a lot of effort into these, and I'm sure that these categories have been curated and iterated on for several years now. But like it just seems, especially since you have at least three other spots here, you can put stuff. You could you could pretty easily at least improve this in some capacity. So
Yeah, I think so. For me, it's not even. I mean, it's the categories, but it's also the nominations too. Because the nominations a lot of time feel like they're just throwing the popular games in every other category, and it's like,
yeah. I mean, for the
come
record,
on
a lot of
now.
these same issues are with other award shows. Like, oh, it's kind of boring to watch like the Oppenheimer year. Like, yeah, you that movie was gonna win most categories it was in, if not every single category it was in. And
Hmm.
like by the end of it, you're like, oh, I wonder who's gonna win the Oscar. It's like it's probably Oppenheimer again. Um, but I do feel like, especially since other award shows outside of like the little skits and bits they do like in between nominations, which don't take super long. They actually spend a good amount of time talking about the awards. Whereas here it seems the awards are mostly secondary to the game announcements and sponsor segments, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that is happening next Thursday. I don't know why it's a Thursday, but it's always on a Thursday for some reason. So, yeah, we'll check back in 2 weeks to see who won. Okay. Is there anything else you want to bring up or discuss before we sign off today?
Nope, that's all yet.
All right. So with that, we will see you all next time.
Take care.